What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this new album from Rapsody called Eve. But before we get into that, yes, I do have a little band-aid here. I am not on my Nelly shit from the early 2000s. I just got a really bad mosquito bite and the shit was gushing blood. So nobody wanted to see that. I damn sure didn't want to have to edit around it. So it is what it is, man. We got this high yellow band-aid that's matching with my high yellow self. So we're going to keep it rolling. But when it comes to Rapsody, she's an MC coming out of North Carolina who I think is one of the best in the game currently, and she really staked her claim as one of the best with her last album, Layla's Wisdom. This was critically acclaimed. I love this album and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 the year that it came out. It actually made my top 5. So needless to say, I hold Rapsody in high regards and was excited to hear this project. Then I found out that there was a concept here, one that was centered around black women and their beauty and strength. That just made me even more interested, and it damn sure didn't disappoint. So the first thing you're going to notice when you look at the track list is that all the titles are named after famous black women who have really brought a lot of things to the world. And Rapsody said that she chose this idea as a way of keeping their legacies alive and encouraging people to go back and study them and learn about their legacies. So I thought that was a really cool idea overall, and it just shows you that a lot of thought was put into this project. So the song Nina starts everything off. It works as a perfect intro because it actually samples its namesake, Nina Simone, and Rapsody is getting into all kinds of shit on here, including the perseverance of black women and how they also set beauty trends. This is something we see more and more as time goes on, to the point that the term black fishing or nigga fishing came to exist, because there were a lot of white women on IG who were basically stealing that black aesthetic and pretending that they were black girls, man, with their hairstyles, the way that they were tanning their skin, just taking it so far to the extreme that, you know, it wasn't like showing love to the culture or anything like that. It was straight up trying to pretend they were black. There's actually that one girl from Europe who basically just looks like a caricature of black women. I forget what her name is, but you probably know what I mean. She got the huge lips, the big fake ass, all that plastic shit. She basically looks like Jinx from Pokemon, so she was just a joke, and that's something that we see today, man. She also mentions how she drew a line without showing her body. That's a skill. And that was something that I thought was really dope, because she's just saying that she didn't have to do the usual things to make it as a female MC. And that's not to knock the female MCs who do overly sexualize their lyrics, how they present themselves and stuff like that, because a lot of guys do the same shit. But Rapsody is just saying that she made it off of her talent, not by shaking her ass around like an annoying Live Jasmine pop-up video. But of course I gotta speak on the song Ibtihaj. This is the lead single that was named after the American Olympic fencer who made history just by competing in a hijab. I believe she won a bronze medal. And the first thing that grabbed my ear about this track is that Liquid Sword sample, man. I absolutely loved that album back in the day. GZA was just killing shit. He really has been killing shit his entire career. I think he's one of the top lyricists if we're talking straight up flows, schemes, and the shit that he's saying. And he absolutely proves why I feel that way with some of his bars on here, because he's actually featured on this song as well. He spits well-written rap bound to have greater impact on a listener for the fact it's well intact. An MC should electrify, beautify, strive to empower, inspire, transform a worldview. That is a message that I completely endorse, because I think it's lost on a lot of MCs today. A lot of people are just rapping about bullshit and they don't care. They drop these long-ass albums with no thought on Spotify and all the streaming platforms. You know how it goes, man. We see it all the time. And we also get D'Angelo dropping some vocals on here, which was a nice surprise, because this guy stays hidden like a rare Pokemon, and yet he was able to come out and get on this Rapsody album. If you're keeping count at home, that's 2 Pokemon references so far. Hopefully this shit doesn't get out of hand, but that just seems to be the shit I'm on today. Of course, Rapsody stays with the theme of this album as she spits on this track. Women been leading the way since Roxanne Shante. And also, when I see Afro puffs, I think maybe it's rage. And that shit is damn true, man. Ever since Lady of Rage was rocking rough and stuff with her Afro puffs, I always think of her when I see that hairstyle. Even when I put my little girl's hair in Afro puffs, that's who I think of, man. She's like a mini Lady of Rage. So that goes to show you the impact that she has had on the culture, even though she hasn't been overly active ever since she first came out. Like, she doesn't keep a bunch of albums flowing out there, but Lady of Rage is really dope, and she deserves our respect. And keeping with this topic of the GOAT female MCs, Queen Latifah is actually featured on the song Hetshepsut. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I had to write down some of these pronunciations because I wasn't sure how to say some of these titles and some of the other stuff on this album, but I'm doing my best. I know she was the Queen of Egypt, I believe, a long time ago. But Queen Latifah absolutely bodied the sunny piano production from Knots, man. She really shows on this track that she can still hang with dope references like Came Out of Jersey with Naughty Dudes and Hella Drive. This is her throwing back to that classic classic movie New Jersey Drive, and Naughty by Nature, who, by the way, is a hip-hop group who probably doesn't get enough love. I know they were active a long time ago, but even here in 2019, I revisit their stuff on the regular, man. They are a great hip-hop group. Lost Boys, too. I feel like we don't talk about the Lost Boys enough, but now I'm just getting a little old-headish and going off track into the 90s. But I thought Queen Latifah was really dope on this, and Rapsody actually shows love to Queen Latifah on this song when she spits. And I'ma always keep it real. No, I don't care if you're mad. I'm here to make you better. I'm just like Coretta, in fact. See, only kings would understand just how that metaphor matched. Latifah's still a queen. I'm just trying to follow her path. Thought those were some pretty cool references as well with Coretta King, Martin Luther King, kings and queens. Just a great track all around. And this is just two queens on a track named after a queen, making some music for the queens and also for the kings, man. So this was a clear standout to me, and I was happy to hear Queen Latifah. So hopefully she's gonna do another album soon because she ain't showing any rust at all. And to keep with this flow I have going on, the song Cleo was actually named after Queen Latifah's character from the movie Set It Off. It's a 90s classic, so if you don't know that, go back and check it out. And here Ninth Wonder is delivering an epic Phil Collins sample, man. You know that shit. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Probably what that fucking mosquito was saying when he bit me right here and was getting a drink. But anyway, man, I love that sample on there. It's very smooth. And I thought Rapsody absolutely blacked out on this joint, man. She really reminded me of Jay-Z in his prime on this one, just the way she was flowing and her cadence. And she has quotable after quotable on here, so I'm going to read some of them down, like, wonder how a bunch of sheep can have opinions on a goat. And she also gets brutally honest about the industry bullshit that she faced as a woman, from being labeled a tomboy to people fronting on her talent because she was a woman, including some of the people around her and some of the female MCs in the game. But the line that really stuck out to me is when she says, "Be careful the validations y'all seek, been in them offices and they don't look like you and me." She's just speaking on how so many people who are in power in hip-hop might be older white guys who don't really care about our story. And in particular, she speaks on how they don't care about the black woman's story. They just want some titties jiggling around, asses shaking, and all those sorts of things, because that's what's selling. So she really is kind of, I don't want to say she's taking a shot at female rappers that do that, because this is all about the empowerment, and Rapsody herself has spoken on how she likes a wide variety of MCs, the women that do that. It's certainly their right to do that. Men do it too. I think I did talk about that a little bit earlier, but she's just saying herself that you don't have to do that. Like, this is the way that she took, and she did it off of pure skill and by believing in herself and staying true. I think that's a very important lesson, and she actually echoes this message on the song Sojourner, which is named after Sojourner Truth, where she says that people should think for themselves and think beyond sales, which is a very important idea right there, man, because there's a bigger picture. There's life after hip-hop. You want to put something out that maybe you're proud of and will have longevity. At least you would think that that's something that an artist would like to do. But again, a lot of it's about the money and stuff. Everyone's got different preferences, but I really agree with what she's saying here, and I do like her approach in particular. This track also has that quintessential Ninth Wonder sample-based production, very smooth with that vintage sound, and J. Cole has a great verse on here as he's just speaking about his various struggles, dealing with past trauma and insecurities. So as you can tell by everything I said so far, man, there are loads of great tracks on here with great content and subject matter, and that is something I always appreciate. So this shit right here is really in the running for Album of the Year so far, certainly in the top 3. But to scroll down my list here, the two tracks that hit me the hardest are Merrily and also Afeni, so I had to talk about these ones. With Merrily, we're getting this haunting banger with equally haunting vocals from Mariba. I like the overall sound of this one, and it fits with the theme because it's dealing with the death of black men. So Rapsody is referencing Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Trayvon Martin. I believe she might even mention Eric Garner on here as well. And she's just speaking on the effect that these deaths can have, not just on the family, but especially the women. Or in Rapsody's own words, "That's a broken home, I could be on that. That's reality, that's a big old fact. Cause I'm a Mary Black, a hard truth. Think about the widow, that could be us too." And even as a man, this is something that I think about once in a while. Like, what if something happened to me, then my wife and kids were left to sort of, fend for themselves and keep it going? It's a very hard truth. And I think she approached this in a very intelligent way. So I appreciated her bringing this track, just like I appreciated her bringing the track called Afeni. Very fittingly, this features some vocals from Afeni's son, Tupac Shakur from his song Keep Your Head Up, and this song is aimed at black men, and Rapsody is just saying that she wants the best out of us. She's hitting us up about a bunch of topics, including black men who don't appreciate black women, but they like these previously mentioned white women who maybe steal features, sort of steal the aesthetic and culture and act like that. She speaks on the effect that can have on black women and even on young black girls, including these guys who might have daughters and they see their father doesn't appreciate the true beauty of black women, but he's going for some of this fake shit. And there's also a great bar on here where she spits, "It ain't complex to be emotional or affectionate. To my brothers that do, I hope my sisters don't think less of them." Here she's just encouraging us to open up and be ourselves, embrace your emotions. You're a man. It's okay to be human and, put yourself out there once in a while because that's how you get better. You can't bottle everything up, and she's hoping that people don't hate on black men for doing that because it's okay to be sensitive and open your heart up a little bit. You can do those things. She also attacks the bad father stereotype that surrounds black people when she spits, "Love our great fathers. I know some statistics lied, but all the ones that didn't, you gotta do your job." So to me, these are just two really great tracks from the perspective of a black woman that deal with black men and just kind of uplifting us and giving us some of the hard facts and truths that we need to hear. I do especially like that last line where she's talking about the statistics lying, because there are plenty of studies out there that show how active black fathers are with their kids, even if the parents aren't together. Maybe they're not in the home, but they still do a lot of things. So I'm sure some of you have seen that. But I don't want to get all political and shit in this review. I'm just saying that it is out there. So I've spoken on a lot of the content here. I'm going to scroll down my notes now to the part where I mentioned that Rapsody has plenty of bangers and lighthearted tracks here too. So you do get the song Oprah. This one has big bass as the masked rapper Lakaylee47. I hope I'm saying her name right. I did look it up, but I'm probably still fucking it up. She just brings a lot of personality. I really like how she sounds. Just her vocal style is kind of cool. Then we get Serena. This is a crawling banger where Rapsody is once again rapping about the work she's put in and some of the stuff that she's gone through. I thought her flows on this were some of the album's best, man. She is just flowing on this shit like butter over some mashed potatoes, maybe some warm gravy on top of there, maybe some sour cream and chives on there, man. Okay. Focus. Let's keep going and ignore that. On to the next one. There's also a song Tyra, which is named after Tyra Banks, or maybe you're thinking of Tyra Moore if you're a freak, a little bit like myself. But this one has trappish elements on it, as Rapsody is just rapping about her beauty and how she could make a blind man whistle. So that one was actually my least favorite track. I still don't think it's bad or anything. Like, it does have some nice bass on it. But I also think these tracks do fit in with the album because they keep with the themes of black women empowerment, the beauty and strength of black women, and just that versatility, just the different sounds really keep things refreshing without feeling out of place. Even tracks like Michelle and Iman are light affairs that don't get overly serious. So with Michelle, this is a funky club joint courtesy of Knots with some vocals from Elle Varner. Wasn't really blown away by Elle Varner's performance on here, but it was decent. And then with the song Iman, much like Tyra, it focuses on the beauty of black women, but I thought this one was much more clever, really stuck with me more. It has some great production from Ninth Wonder that's kind of groovy, and also some great features from Sir and Jid. So Rapsody on here is mostly focusing on that age-defiant skin as well as succulent asses, man. I love my black women. Gotta show love. But she says, "Looking at my skin, I don't know the year or time yet. My mama still look 24. She a fine chick." Thought that was kind of a funny line, and I'm sure some of us can relate to that because we have women in our family that are older that damn near don't look it, man. I know I have an aunt who is like, she's got to be in her 50s, and I swear she looks like she's in her 20s. And like I said, there's definitely some humor on this track, and I like when Jid was on here speaking on his great pornography taste when he spits that he only searches for ebony and amateur when he's on X videos, the best site, two of the best searches. So you know what, I'm with you on that, Jid, 100%. Load up some of that ebony amateur shit. He knows what he's got going on over there, man. X videos holding it down. We don't need to dwell on that shit too much, I'm just saying. So yeah, man, I really like these tracks. I also really like the song Maya. We're getting this piano joint with an Erykah Badu sample, as well as some nice vocals from Kay Roosevelt. And here, Rapsody is just spitting about the importance of not wasting time and being idle. So all this to say is there's a lot of variety here, man, with the content, with the various sounds. There's so much going on. So I'm sure my review was a little bit topsy-turvy and all over the place, but I was just excited to speak on this one, so I had a lot to say. And to go along with the great content I've spoken on, of course, is all this production that is handled by the Soul Council. You have Eric G delivering one of the album's smoothest cuts on the song Aaliyah. This features a Sabrina Claudio sample, as well as some references to my favorite Aaliyah song, Are You That Somebody? That beat is just crazy with the baby crying on it. Rapsody is getting very experimental with her vocal cadence on this song. Actually kind of reminds me of what Kendrick does once in a while, so that was lots of fun. And then with the song Whoopi, man, oh man, Crisis destroyed this beat. Really reminds me of some old school Timbaland shit because it's very fun and cartoony. And I like the title reference when Rapsody says, "They gon' make a sister act up, I'm left eye with the matches." A reference to Whoopi's movies, the Sister Act series, as well as how Left Eye back in the day burnt up her boyfriend's mansion. I forget who he was. I think he was a famous football player at the time. So there's tons of references. Even though the titles have all these famous black women on them, the songs and in the verses she's making references to plenty of people as well. So this album just stays very cohesive, very smooth. I like a lot of stuff going on here. And I also got to show love to these bars from the same song. When Rapsody spits, "Chicks don't phase me, I'm just like Beyonce. I ain't feeling you like I ain't feeling new Kanye. I wish you would like I want new Andre." Definitely agree with her on those things, because you know what? I'm not big on new Kanye either. Does nothing for me. And we all want that album from 3 Stacks finally, man. That solo Andre 3000 project. That would be really dope. So, you know what? Obviously, I can't cover anything here. I'm sure there's lyrics and quotables that you guys are going to mention in the comment section, and I hope you do, because this is one of those albums that you could do like half an hour on, but I think I've gone on for quite a while now. This is going to be probably the year's longest review. I just think everything here came together beautifully, man. Even Raina Biddy, who pops up, hopefully I'm saying her name right, she shows up to really tie in all these references to black beauty and excellence, just black women being the best in the world. You know, she brings some spoken word pieces that help tie things together. So to me, this is a great album. I think it'll go down as one of those very important ones, and Rapsody once again shows why she's one of the best MCs out there. Bars for days, loads of charisma, plenty to say, versatile production, lots of fun flows and cadences. There you have it, man. I love this shit. So I'm going to go with a 4.5 out of 5. I know I'm stingy with the 5s, man. I only ever gave it to Pimp a Butterfly because I think that was just an all-out game changer. But this might be the closest to a 5, man. Honestly, this and Little Brother were really close. If I did like 4.75s or some shit like that, that's probably what they'd get. But you know what? Numbers at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? These are some really great albums. This could go down as a classic given enough time, I think. So check it out for yourself and then hit me up in the comments section with your thoughts. And of course, make sure you do that good YouTube and social media stuff where you show me love and you show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.